Well, I just wanted to do a quick one. Well, before I have to take Smiley, as the lady who lets me live with her, just a doctor's appointment on her eyes. But what I want to get across to people is that what do you do when it's not easy? I mean, unfortunately, some grants could be easy, but there are a lot of them that are not, and to solve problems. And it's a complicated situation. So you would love to, I know everybody would love to, well, I'll just give you a website and you fill out the application and you would just wait and get the money. I mean, that happens, but it may not happen. And that's why you have to be ready for that, because otherwise you're going to give up. And that's the biggest sin in solving any problem you have, is giving up. And once you do that, then you miss so much, and you can't grow in life if you give up. And so the important thing is not to give up, I think, and having that resilience or the perseverance or whatever it is. And that's hard to do. And that's what I hope Let's.Go.Help does, because we encourage each other not to give up. The first thing you go to is not probably going to work, and that's true. And the problem is, I think a lot of that comes from Google, because salesmen like me try to convince you that, hey, all you have to do is do this and you get $1 million or whatever the hell we're saying. And that most likely will not be true. There are people that happens to, and when I did infomercials, I used to, find those people and put them on my commercial. But the rest of us are going to have to work at this thing. And the way it happens is you have to get out of the idea of just going on the internet and filling out an application. No, you have to get information about what is the right source for you. It's different for everybody, and what we start with, like all the businesses that succeeded that I had about 6 businesses, 5 maybe. The first 2 failed because I think I got money for them. And then when I didn't have money, I was able to stay at it long enough till I figured it out, because the first idea I have had about any business I started, it sounded like $1 billion business to me, but when I started it, hey, shit, nobody's buying this stuff. There's something wrong. And you got to get that feedback about what's going around. So that doesn't mean just filling out applications and not doing anything. You got to get on that phone. And the key to all of this is getting on the phone. So like if people need rent grant or something, and there's a national program for rent grant, and it's in most cities, and so that's the organization that people will recommend to you to apply there, and you apply there, there will either be no more money or not for you, and all these kinds of things. So then you go home thinking, well, I tried. But no, you didn't. You just went to one place. So that's why it is really a numbers game. It's like getting a job. When you get a job and looking for a job, you don't go to one office and, hey, are you hiring today? And they say no, you don't go home. You'll never get a job, that way. So you have to, get a listing, and whether it's making 10 phone calls, 20 phone calls, 30 phone calls, or whatever it is. And how you treat people on that phone determines how much help you're going to get. We're all human beings, and we all want to help each other. I mean, that's ingrained in any of us. Sure, there's assholes out there that won't give you the time of day, but you have to live through that, because they are there no matter what you do. And your main goal in life is to help you and to find the help that's out there. And what's wonderful about our society is that about 1/3 of our society gets paid to help you do that. 2/3 of our society is capitalism, and they only get paid if they get money from you. There's 1/3 of our society doesn't have to get money from you, but is there to help you. That's government offices and nonprofit organizations. And you're right, a lot of them are terrible or bureaucratic, and that's true, and because they have to follow laws. They can't follow their heart as much, because if they don't follow the laws on how this money is given out, they lose their job. So they have to follow laws. So you have to realize that and talk to them and see. The other thing, what you're missing by not talking to them is the knowledge that each one of these people have. So if you go in to find help, now this is a good place to start finding these kinds of people, because you could go to findhelp.org, put in rent, and you'll, like in my area, there's 79 organizations that help people with rent, okay? Initially you thought, oh, maybe there's only one. No, there's 79. Now, they all have different requirements and things like that, but what you have there is a resource, 79 people who get paid every day of their life to help people like you with rent. Wow. So that means they're spending a lifetime worrying about things like this and running into other programs all the time. And that's where you have. It's sort of like if you had a in-law that was a lawyer. You know, before you go out and spend $500 an hour on a lawyer, you'd call your in-law who's a lawyer, right? They'll give you some really good advice about what is good. Well, this is what you have in getting financial assistance is something. You have 79 organizations, that's all they do. So maybe they're not going to do it for you, but that's all they do. So they're going to know more than anybody else, particularly they're all local. That's what these things are. I mean, you find local people to do this. Boy, there's nothing better than that. And better than me, because I don't live where you live. I have no idea who the hell they are. But these are people in your community. These are neighbors that help people like you. Okay, maybe they only help veterans and you're not a veteran. Okay, you still talk to them because they're running into situations that they'll stumble into information that they don't even know they know, but somebody else, hey, do you know of somebody else to help me? So the key to this is talking to people, being nice as hell, because if you're a pain in the ass too, who wants to help you? I'm getting the same money no matter if I help you or not, right? That's what the bureaucrat's saying. So you have to use a tool that you have. And that's the most important thing is your humanity. You don't have to know what to say. You don't have to know how to say it. You just have to know how to be human. And most of us, I say most, most of us have that skill, sometimes too much. And that's the point of all this, that you have to use the skills you have and the natural ability you have to be a human. You don't have to be a salesman. You don't have to be a liar, as most salesmen are. You have to be human. And the more human you are, the more, call them up and say, hey, I have no idea what the hell I'm doing, but I'm in a lot of trouble. Can you help me, please? You know, I see your organization helps people with this, or if you can't help me, can you suggest someone else to help me? So you may have to make 20, 30 calls like that. Okay, if this is important, that's nothing. That's nothing. You could do that in a few days, right? What'd you do the last few days? What? You went around Google in circles and got nothing, right? Now, that's why you keep that mind open. You keep your heart open so you could relate to people and they could relate to you and want to help you. And you have to get those barriers down. I know it's very hard. When I first started in business, making cold calls was just the hardest thing in my life. Man, I used to say, well, maybe the oven needs cleaning. I think of anything else not to make a phone call. It was like when I was writing term papers in college. Oh, I hated that. So I do think, oh, yeah, those windows really need to clean. I haven't cleaned them in a long time. Deadline for my term paper was tomorrow, but boy, that seemed more important now. So I'll do something of value that I know I can do. So you put it off. And we're all like that. And that's why Let's Go Help. We have a place to turn to that people know that people realize that. And we'll give you some comfort to send you back in the game. And that's what it is. Before, I used to sell books, and you get a book and to tell you things like this, and nobody would do it. That's why now at Let's Go Help, I got more people helping themselves than ever before. This is the most important thing I've ever done in my life, and the most successful and the most rewarding, because I see the results, and amazing, because it's perseverance. We're there, and that's why I'm surprised that I'm so glad and grateful that we could do it for only charging $20. I used to do this for $500 or $5,000. People who have money will pay that, you know. But I didn't want to help people who could afford that. People really need the money. And that's when I'm still waiting for my $500 to be refunded. We don't sell anything for $500. I don't know who you are, but okay, check if you're looking for something from us. It's let'sgohelp@gmail.com and ask for Magic Mary. Biggest bill you'll get from us is $20. Otherwise, that's not me. And that's important. But you have to take advantage of these sources. Nobody's going to come and knock on your door to take advantage of these sources. You have to do it. And that's why if you fail, then come back to us if you're a member. If you're not a member, then go to findhelp.org and put in, instead of rent, you have a category there called financial assistance. Financial assistance at findhelp.org. Put in financial assistance in your zip code, and you'll get 200-300 organizations in your community that help people who need financial assistance. Okay, so maybe they help you with car repair, but you need rent. That's okay. You call them anyway, because that's closer to anything else you'll find, and particularly in Google. I mean, Google is a death trap to me, because anything you'll find in there is people that want to get your money, and you don't have money. So it's important that you don't get trapped in there, because you're either going to get people who are con artists or scams, or people that are going to sell you something that you could get for free. And that's what we do. Every website we give you is free. But whether you use us or not, it doesn't matter. What matters to me is that you know that it may take you more than any salesman will tell you. More effort than any salesman will imply to get the help you need. And if you don't follow up on that, then you lose when you don't have to. There's no magic. You don't have to take more money. You don't have to know somebody. You don't have to do any of those things that we put in our mind as a roadblock to get through life and to get the help we need. The help is out there, believe me. It's not where you think it is, though. That's why you have to stumble into that by going into a lot of blind alleys, by talking to a lot of people who can't help you. And that's the only way you get there. If it was easier, I would figure it out, but I haven't. I've been doing this for 50 years. And that's what we all have to do with any part of our life, unfortunately. But the part of our society, which is capitalism, wants to sell you something. So to sell you something, they have to make you believe that this is easy, because that's a good sale. I mean, I used to think, when I was doing books or something, I always think a title. If I can only think of a title, because that gets people's attention. And then I saw it around like diet books. Okay, now if people were honest about diet books, they'd say, well, here's a way to lose weight. You may lose weight, you may not. It's going to take a lot of work, and you're going to have to keep at it and things like that. Or is the title Thinner Thighs in 30 Days? That was one of the titles. And that's what this marketing and capitalist society is all about, convincing people that it's so fucking easy. So they give you money, and that's why we spend more talent from people trying to figure out how to get money from you than we do in solving the problem. So that's important to me. So remember that you have to put in the time. If it doesn't come easy, it does come easy occasionally, but don't plan on it, because then if you think it's going to be easy, you'll stop. And that's the only thing I know that works. It works in a way that you don't get anything. I know that if you don't try, you don't get. And so the biggest, even if you try, there's no guarantee that you get. But I know there's a guarantee you don't get if you don't try. So that's what you have to fight every day of your life. If you're not trying, you'll never get. Because it doesn't come to you, you have to come to it, and it's not where you think it is, so you have to figure out where it is, and it's for each of us differently, so we have to build that, whatever, and that's what we're doing at Let's Go Help, is trying to help people through that process and grow in their lives. There's so many things to do in this country, I really believe. I mean, I haven't lived in a dozen countries, but I guess I have. I lived in Scotland for 2 years. But still, there's so many opportunities. I mean, you see, people still want to come to this country, to do it, no matter how bad we are. We all have bad parts, but the good parts. But what frustrates me is all the rich people know these sources, because they're hiring people like me and charge them thousands of dollars because they're so goddamn lazy to do it themselves. But you should do it yourself. It's sort of like, you got to build your own muscles to do that. And it's important, particularly you don't have income or money yourself, and you can, anybody can. And you'll see the thousands of testimonials that we have that show you that. So let us help you. And if you don't have the $20, you could go to trylesgo.com, and that's a place where you could start getting this information for free. Or find help.org. That helps you get for free. You want to start a business, you go to SBA.gov/local-assistance and help there. You have trouble with your debts and bills and stuff like that, you go to HUD.gov/counseling and get free help there. Make an appointment. It's all about making appointments. It's all about talking to people. So you have to talk to people, to tell them your circumstances and can you help me? And if they say no, then you ask them, where else can I go? You want a better job or anything like that. You don't make enough money. Then you go to careeronestop.org, careeronestop.org. You make an appointment. Talk to them about what you're trying to do. And if they can't help you, ask them for who else may be to help you. So it's all about using people. Get out of Google, get off the internet, and on the phone and talk to people, please.